Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Mike's DVDs and Blu-rays collection. I am Mike, and today we're going to continue our look at some of my film noir that I have. My ever-growing collection of film noir, one of my most favorite genres that I have, and like I said in the last one, a lot of companies are really putting out some really nice editions of film noirs. They're raiding the vaults and bringing out some stuff that hasn't seen the light of day for a long time, stuff that's been out of print on DVD for a while. So what I have is some of the older DVD editions, because I wasn't really interested in getting the most sharp picture, the latest 2K, 4K thing. I just wanted the movie for my collection. And some of the DVD editions that came out previously were pretty nice. I mean, a lot of them had really good, artwork and stuff. So some of these are included in this. And I also have a newer Blu-ray edition in here that I got in the past month. So let's get right to it, guys. The first movie stars Robert Young, Robert Mitchum, and Robert Ryan in a Edward Dmytryk 1945 RKO film noir classic, Crossfire. This is a movie where Robert Young is the detective checking out Robert Mitchum's story. Robert Ryan plays a twisted, racist, anti-Semite soldier who's trying to switch the story around on one of his buddies and stuff. It also has a really good performance by Gloria Graham as I think she plays like a dance. She's like a dance hall girl or something, kind of a floozy in a way. One of her early roles, but Crossfire is a great addition, great movie. I mean, it's on one of the many Warner Brothers film noir collections. I think it's on number 2 or number 3 or something like that. But this is the DVD edition that came out. This was actually Dory Sherry was the producer of this. Now he would move on to MGM in the 50s and put out some really good movies. He was a real progressive producer. He was in touch with what was going on out there, and he wanted to produce realistic stuff that had social conscience to it and not just fluffy MGM entertainment and stuff. So I think he moved on to MGM after this and made some really good movies. So there you go, Crossfire. You can find this, I believe it's on Blu-ray. It's in that box set, and you can get the regular DVD edition. Next up, this is a used copy I got. This is from one of those film noir sets. This is another double feature disc from Warner Brothers. Two pretty cool movies, one by Fred Zinnemann and the other by John Sturges. And this was originally a library copy, so I got this off of eBay. Act of Violence and Mystery Street. Two really good movies. Mystery Street, for example, has Elsa Lancaster. It's got Ricardo Montalban, Sally Forrest, Bruce Bennett, and Marshall Thompson. So Ricardo Montalban, which was really different, he was the lead in this, and I believe he was at MGM at that time. He was under contract, and he did a lot of cool stuff. Richard Brooks was one of the screenplay done by him, and directed by John Sturges. So one of the early pictures of John Sturges before he would move on to like United Artists and do movies like one of the I can't even think of it right now. But Act of Violence is a Fred Zinnemann directed movie. It stars Janet Leigh, Mary Astor, kind of an older Mary Astor. It also has Robert Ryan and Van Heflin starring in this. It was also for MGM at that time too, so they were trying to get in on the film noir business at the time too and stuff. Like I said, a lot of the best film noir seemed like it was done by RKO and 20th Century Fox. I think 20th Century Fox were probably a little bit better than MGM in that department of what they put out and stuff. So yeah, this is a great edition. I believe, I'm not really sure what exact edition this is from. I think it's from volume 2, 4, something like that. But yeah, Act of Violence and Mystery Street. You can find that pretty good used. Next up, I got a movie that's got Gloria Graham. Now, she's second billed in this movie. And it's also starring one of my favorite actors of the time, Sterling Hayden. This is a movie called Naked Alibi. Now, this is a Blu-ray I got recently. It's got Gene Barry, Marsha Henderson. This is a Kino Lorber movie. This is a movie directed by Jerry Hopper. This is a Kino release. It was originally made for Universal back in the day. And this is a really cool movie, actually. I mean, Sterling Hayden kind of plays... Again, you got a story of a cop who goes a little too far with people and stuff. And I think he was told to... take a moment of leave and stuff, but instead of taking a couple weeks off, he continued to track down this guy and prove that he was this killer and stuff. So it's really good. Gloria Graham plays a really good role as she's kind of like a dance hall girl or something. Again, I mean, not typecast. She's a little better in this performance, but down in Mexico, they cross the border. Where this gangster's living a double life than he is at home. So yeah, there you go, Naked Alibi. I saw that on Amazon one day. It was when it popped up, stuff you may like, and I started researching it a little bit and was like, man, yeah, that sounds great. I'm glad I picked it up. The next couple of films I'm going to show you are from the Fox Film Noir that I was talking about that came out back in the day. There was like 20, 21, 22 of them. They were a series released over a couple years that Fox put out. And this one is a really interesting movie, and it has a really good documentary on there about it, which was really cool. The movie's called Moontide, and this stars Jean Gabon and Ida Lupino, and the audio commentary, I mean, not the audio, the making of featurette that's on here is called Turning of the Tide, the ill-starred making of Moontide, and it's really good. It's got a great performance by Thomas Mitchell. Claude Rains is in this also. He's really good, and it's directed by Archie Mayo, which is, this is maybe 10 years or well, it's less than that. What is this? 40? Okay, it's 42. So it's just a few years after Archie Mayo made movies like, they Made Me a Criminal, something like that. But yeah, Jean Gabon had come over from France after things were getting too hectic in Europe and France, occupation of France and everything, and he got over here to try Hollywood out, and he was a very hard to get along with star. He was used to France and French filmmakers and their system of making movies, and he was really hard to get along with, bumped heads a lot. A lot of the stars that worked with him said that he was just hard to get along with, and he was pretty much, he just felt like he didn't fit in Hollywood. So he made a few movies over here while he did, and this was one of the first ones. I think this was the first movie he made in Hollywood. Again, Moontide, Ida Lupino, as always, is great. It's a real seedy story, actually. It came out in 1942, way past the film code, thing coming out and everything. But man, it takes place during like the docks, like on, the bad side of town, dock workers, and you see prostitutes and drunks and different seedy, the seedy bad part of town, and shows the life, life going on, the people, the workers, the many fishermen, and people coming and going. And there is a murder that may or may not was done by Jean Caban. So it's a great mystery. I don't want to tell you any more about it because it's really good. It unfolded well and really cool. It's has some scenes in it, I believe, some like montages or something in it that was really interesting. So yeah, check it out. Moontide, and this is part of that Fox Film Noir thing. It may be out on Kino. And next up, guys, is another Fox Film Noir edition from back in the day. This is number 3, and this was directed by Elie Kazan. Panic in the Streets. It's a really good movie, starring Richard Widmark, Paul Douglas, Barbara Bel Geddes, and Jack Palance. Jack Palance, one of his early roles, I think. He plays a bad guy in this. Basically, a guy comes back. This takes place in Louisiana, close to the docks and shore and stuff. And apparently a man from another country, from the Caribbean or something, comes over, and he's carrying the plague, bubonic plague, but it's not like the one, it's the other one, not that wasn't the one in Europe back in the centuries ago. It's a new one, and it's really actually super cool how they made this, and you can almost relate it to now. And Richard Widmark plays a Navy surgeon, kind of a head of the health department or something in the city, and he basically calls on a quarantine, and they're trying to track down this guy that may or may not be infected with this, because the guy they murdered that carried it, and they're trying to track down the killer because the killer may have this. So it's really cool. Panic in the Streets, and trying to track this guy down. Really good movie. Jack Palance is always great. So yeah, check that out. It's also produced by Saul Siegel, which, he would go on and be one of the big producers in the 1950s and 60s. And finally, guys, this is another Fox Film Noir edition. This is number 5, The Street with No Name. Now, in collecting these, I came across quite a few of them that I had never heard of. Now, this is a super cool movie, again, starring Richard Widmark. Richard Widmark was such a great actor back then that we almost forget how good of an actor he was back in when he first came on the scene. Now, this movie was released 1948. I think he did his first movie in like 47, but he turned out a bunch of film noir type movies between 47 and on up, but he did a bunch during the years of 47, 48, 50. He did like 3 or 4 classics in 1950 alone. But this was really good. Mark Stevens, really good. Lloyd Nolan, Barbara Lawrence also star in this. This is a William Keighley production. Which was, he did a bunch of great early Warner Brothers movies in the 30s. But yeah, Street with No Name was a real eye-opener. It's like the FBI is trying to track down this gangster played by Richard Widmark, and Mark Stevens has to go undercover, and he really blends in with the people to try to get into this gang so he can bring them down and stuff. And it was a really good movie. Very, very it almost seemed like a more modern movie, the way they did it, a modern action film or something, the way it just went. It kind of reminded me of some of the movies from the 90s somehow. I don't know, it had that vibe on it. It was really good direction, good story. It's one of those movies that, you don't really know. You haven't really heard of this. The Street with No Name. I've never heard of that. What is that? But it's a really good movie. highly recommend this. Out of all these movies, out of all these classics I've shown you, The Street with No Name is something you really should check out. It's really good. This is the older DVD edition of it. I'm not really sure if it's on Blu-ray, so I don't know if it was ever put back out on Blu-ray. I'm sure Kino will eventually put it out. But yeah, this is a great movie, The Street with No Name. So there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed this Film Noir number 4, Volume 4 of Mike's Film Noir movies that he's showing, that I'm showing my collection. So I hope you guys really, seriously, check these out. These are really good movies. Take a chance. If you love Film Noir, it's a no-brainer. Find these movies and put them in your collection. Watch them. They're great. Because you don't really see them like streaming. They may or may not turn up on TCM. You know, you might have to watch a long time to ever see it pop up on there. So track down the DVD and find it and watch it. You won't be sorry. But that's about it, guys. Again, subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed. Thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and comments are always welcome. So until next time, guys, I am Mike. Take it easy out there, be safe, and as always, watch Film Noir.